What's up, everybody? Welcome to Macabre'Gorium Labs presents School of Boredom, a showcase of things likely forgotten. As you probably guessed, my name is Mr. Bats, and I'll be your guide today as we explore lesson number 106, Brickleberry, the underrated show that knew exactly what it was doing. Before we get started, it is really important to note that this show is not intended for younger viewers or children, or most adults for that matter. This show falls into the same category as South Park and Drawn Together. Brickleberry shares their limit-breaking comedy, boundary-pushing jokes, and extreme knack for being edgy. So in short, if you do not like South Park or Drawn Together style shows, or you're too young to watch them, maybe go check out a different one of our School of Boredom lessons more suited to you. That being said, let's move forward. Brickleberry was a North American animated series aimed toward adults. Airing between 2012 through 2015 with 3 seasons spanning 36 complete episodes in total. The series had 2 creators, Waco and Roger Black.
The inspiration for Brickleberry came from Mr. O'Gwen's father-in-law being a former park ranger named Woody.
Originally the show was supposed to be live action, but it became animated due to budget restraints. Then, in 2007, Fox Broadcasting Company had a pilot, but passed up the show as they thought it was too offensive. So the duo's agent connected them to comedian Daniel Tosh, who was getting very popular due to his Comedy Central show, Tosh.0. He quickly signed on to the project and pitched the show to Comedy Central, which we all know shows the very popular show, South Park. Comedy Central passed on the new pitch, and so they took the show to Adult Swim. Adult Swim saw the potential immediately and was ready and prepared to order 10 episodes. Comedy Central then relented and purchased the show, ordering 10 episodes for Season 1 in 2011. So, without further ado, let's get to know the visionary creators behind this masterpiece. First up is Waco. Waco is an American animator, actor, voice actor, comedian, producer, and writer. He was born on June 24th, 1975 in Lakeland, Georgia. He is a very talented man who, as a youngster, won a national drawing contest to draw Homer Simpson. Later on, but still earlier in his career, he co-created and starred in MTV2's Stanker Vision, The Damn Show, and a series on Turner's now-ended comedy webpage, Super Deluxe.
As previously mentioned, Stanker Vision was on MTV2 and was a repackaging of The Damn Show. The Damn Show was an underground sketch comedy show, and Super Deluxe was a digital comedy website.
After this, he would go on to create the awesome and totally underrated show, Brickleberry. Which brings us to the other half of this amazing duo, Roger Black. Roger Black is an American insult comedian, actor, voice actor, animator, writer, and producer, most well known as Yucko the Clown.
At one point, Yucko the Clown became a guest on The Howard Stern Show by carrying a Howard Stern sign and running onto the field during a baseball game.
Roger also co-starred with Waco on The Damn Show and Stanker Vision, although he was not on the Super Deluxe website. In 2015, unfortunately, Brickleberry would be canceled. However, in 2018, the duo would create a show for Netflix called Paradise PD.
You put me in this coma, you little Brickleberry-looking bitch.
Fitz, that's a totally different show.
But we aren't going to be talking about that because we are fans of the only show that matters, and that's Brickleberry. And if you don't like that, well, you can just...
I told you, they're park rangers, we're cops. Totally different.
And now for the meat and potatoes of this lesson, let's talk about Brickleberry itself. Brickleberry is an unexpected animated sitcom that revolves around the lives of a group of eccentric park rangers that work and live in the fictional national park of Brickleberry, close to Hazelhurst, Illinois. And you wouldn't expect half the hijinks that ensue. Before we get into the Rangers of Brickleberry, it is important to note that Brickleberry creates its own type of humor. Brickleberry was executive produced by Daniel Tosh, whom also voiced one of the main characters, but more on him in a few minutes.
Daniel Tosh is an American comedian, TV host, actor, writer, and producer with a be offensive to everybody so nobody cares comedy style.
Indeed. Now with that being said, Brickleberry's humor ranges from off-color comedy to downright insulting the audience. This show had a lot to offer if you're someone that can understand the spirit of the humor and are not easily offended. Social justice warriors might want to avoid this one. Brickleberry includes a whole cast of memorable characters. Let's take a look at some of them now. First up is Woody Woodrow Johnson. Woody Johnson is voiced by a man we will be talking about a lot on this channel, and that man is Mr. Tom Kenny. Since we will be featuring him in his own video later on down the line, we won't talk too much about him here. Just know his voice can be heard in almost every cartoon made in the last 25 years or so.
That's right, Mr. Bats, but I do need to mention he voices characters in many popular cartoons, like Rocko's Modern Life, Adventure Time, and of course SpongeBob SquarePants, just name a very few.
Woody is the 55-year-old abrasive head park ranger at Brickleberry. He has a dark military past that he doesn't like to talk about. We do find out that he's also a war criminal, and this comes up numerous times in the series. Along with multiple other things, he was also a top adult movie actor named
Resurrection.
which he enjoyed doing until he was unable to perform properly. Woody always has Brickleberry's best interests in mind. He is constantly trying to boost tourism in the park and make the park better, usually resulting in some hilarious hijinks.
A hairy dinosaur dick with wings? That is brilliant! We'll swoop down and laser gun the bastards!
Yeah!
That's it!
I love weed!
Connie! Call NASA! We need a Jurassic rocket and a shitload more Funyuns!
We're dead.
His mother was also a whole ball of crazy. In Season 3, we find out that Woody's mother, who physically abused him, is actually alive and getting kicked out of her nursing home. Now let's discuss the mostly incompetent park rangers that Woody has to deal with on a daily basis. First up is Steve Williams. Steve Williams is a character that is featured prominently throughout the series and voiced by the talented David Herman. Steve is a bumbling, overconfident doofus that takes his career way too seriously. He believes he is a great park ranger, as he has been awarded the Ranger of the Month title every month.
We later also find out that the only reason Steve has ever accomplished anything in his life is because his mother would...
Simple. Your mom had sex with me to get you a job here. And every month since, so you could be Ranger of the Month, even though you suck.
What? But I earned this medal. I'm not a bad ranger.
Yeah, just like my balls ain't slapping around on your mom's ass crack.
Despite this detail, he holds his title with pride, as he aspires to be like his father, who was also a Brickleberry Park Ranger, a joke that comes up often in the show. He had dreamed of working at Brickleberry since he was a kid and was raised in the park. However, determination alone wasn't enough to accomplish his goals. Plus, he is not that smart and has no common sense, which can lead to some pretty funny situations.
It is also shown in the series that Steve has a huge man crush on Lord of the Rings actor Viggo Mortensen.
Another joke that comes up often. But next up is Connie Kuhneman. Our next ranger is Connie Kuhneman, who is voiced by Roger Black. Connie is extremely strong, a trait she attributes to being a lesbian, and she's also often mistaken for a coat rack.
Weed, my life.
She refers to her strength as her lesbian strength, and it enables her to lift a lot of super heavy items such as trees, bears, and even an atom bomb.
Oh, no, you didn't!
One of her biggest character development points is that she's obsessed with the park ranger Ethel, another park ranger we will mention in this video, and when Connie is around Ethel, her lady parts make a growling noise.
Don't mind him. I'm Connie, by the way. Whoa. Did you feel that? I think our periods just synchronized.
Her parents were evangelical Christians and abandoned her for being a lesbian. There are some episodes where she tries to fit into her parents' idea of a perfect daughter, but usually goes back to being her true self. And rightfully so. Next up on our list is Denzel Jackson. Denzel Jackson is the only African-American ranger and is extremely bad at his job. This is due to him being scared of bugs, snakes, and almost everything in the woods. However, he can't be fired because he works for a government agency. It's important to mention that he's also a gerontophile.
For those that don't know, a gerontophile is someone that is physically attracted to the elderly.
It is revealed in the series that Denzel's father, father's father, and grandfather's father were undercover cops, but Denzel has no interest in getting shot, and this is only mentioned once in the series. There are also references made to his marijuana use as a reason for him being so lazy and terrible at his job, although that is far from the actual reason.
Why? Because all black men love weed?
No, because you love weed. Look at your shirt.
Oh, that's right. Who don't like smoking up?
I don't, because I'm not in the 6th grade and I have shit to do.
Our next ranger came to Brickleberry from Yellowstone National Park and was introduced in the very first episode. Her name is Ethel Anderson. Ethel Anderson is a 25-year-old ranger voiced by Caitlin Olsen in Season 1 and Natasha Leggero in Seasons 2 and 3. Although Ethel is an extraordinary ranger, as long as she doesn't drink, she does try to be nice to her co-workers and assist with the park's problems. And now we have come to the most memorable, albeit annoying character in the show, Malloy the Bear Cub. Malloy is voiced by Daniel Tosh and is the last member of his species, Ursus loquacius. When Malloy was young, Steve accidentally ran over and shot his parents, although Malloy is told that tourists did it. Woody adopted Malloy and raised him in the ranger station as a therapy pet. Malloy plays video games and eats junk food. He's also rude, racist, sexist, narcissistic, and has a superiority complex. What more could you want from a character? He hates all of the rangers and loves to put them down as much as possible. Once Malloy learns that it was actually Steve who killed his parents, he doubles in his efforts to mess with him. In one of the episodes, it is shown that there is actually one more member of Malloy's species. Unfortunately, she is murdered by the end of the episode. There are also several characters in this show that are not main characters, but do deserve to be mentioned in this lesson. So we're going to handle them in a list-like process. First up, we have Bobby Possum Cods. Bobby is a redneck that lives in a trailer in Brickleberry Park. He's racist and really loves the animals in an inappropriate way. In the first episode, Malloy finds this out firsthand and is less than happy about it.
Boy, I am stuffed.
You bout to be.
But fear not, he's alright.
Do I look alright? Because if I do, that means you didn't notice there's a man inside of me.
Next up, we have Bodine. Bodine is voiced by Roger Black and is Bobby Possum Cod's sidekick and best friend. Bodine speaks quickly and tends to ramble on without thinking. This often includes giving information to others that Bobby would rather keep quiet. For instance, in the episode Brickleberry Trailer Park, where Bobby owns Brickleberry Park, Bodine tells everyone in town about it, and the park ends up flooded with other rednecks and trailers until Bobby eventually gives the park back to the Rangers.
On the head so hard it made my Peter shrink back up inside me.
Hold on, he ain't charging no rent?
Yeah, but I'm smart, so I didn't tell nobody. How much I owe you for the potty made of?
I'm gonna let this next character introduce himself.
I'm Firecracker Jim, goddammit!
Firecracker Jim is also voiced by Roger Black. He's a local redneck that sells illegal fireworks. Jim has no arms or legs, as he blew them off, and so he rolls around to get everywhere. He has the stereotypical obese wife and lives in a trailer too. Anytime Brickleberry needs fireworks or something illegal, Firecracker Jim is the first person they call. And with all these limbs flying around and accidents happening left and right, it's a good thing they had Dr. Kuzniak, who's up next. Dr. Kuzniak is voiced by Tom Kenny, and he is Brickleberry's personal doctor. We find out in one episode that he doesn't have a medical license anymore. He has an obsession with medical malpractice and will fix just about any medical problem that arises. And trust me, there are some crazy ones. As you might have guessed, Dr. Kuzniak has a lot of questionable medical practices, such as the dumping of medical waste into a lake in Brickleberry Park. The last character on our list isn't in this series much, but is funny enough to deserve some attention, and that guy is Jorge. Jorge is voiced by David Herman and runs the strip club with some of the nastiest looking strippers ever. In addition to his other attributes, Jorge also has a low intelligence and is very gullible. Ultimately, Brickleberry was cancelled on January 7th, 2015 by Comedy Central, with Paradise PD premiering in 2018. It's not meant to be an official spin-off, but it is considered by many as a spin-off. This being due to the fact that it has a similar story plot, characters, and voice actors.
I told you, they're park rangers, we're cops. Totally different.
Lucky for us fans of Brickleberry, in 2016 there was a 4-issue miniseries created by Dynamite Comics that came out and picked up right where Brickleberry had left off. This miniseries was written by co-creators Waco and Roger Black. It was illustrated by Timothy Hopkins. For the most part, this series takes place right after the show ended, so if you need your Brickleberry fix, check that out too. Brickleberry has many fans, including most of our cast members, but with that comes a lot of critics as well. Even though nothing was off the table as far as jokes are concerned, this show was not made to be known for being offensive just to shock people. There is a lot that could offend people, but sometimes we just need to laugh and not concentrate on the perceived negative aspects of a show. Waco Ogwin has also commented, "All targets are fair game, and if you're clever and don't just try to shock for shock's sake, you can make most anything funny." Well, that about wraps up all the time we had for today's lesson. I've been your guide, Mr. Bats, and this has been lesson number 106, Brickleberry, the show that knew exactly what it was doing. Please join us next time for lesson number 107. You never know what we have in store. And remember, think for yourselves. Keep it creepy. Hey, what's up everybody? Bats here from Macabre'Gorium Labs. We hope you enjoyed this School of Boredom lesson. And if you'd like to check out more of our School of Boredom episodes, you can click the link right over here. And if you'd like to check out our partner channel, it's all about all things gaming, you can check out the other tab there. Anyway, come back and join us next time, and thanks for stopping by.